Hey guys, Hunter here from Blank Bodies. And with the new year starting, we wanted to start off with a little announcement. We're going to be changing up how things work over on our Patreon. We're going to give you guys some more options as well as help push ourselves to create a little more content that we're excited to share. So, $5 Ancilla tier staying the same. You'll still get a special title in our community Discord of Ancilla, and you'll have access to the Patreon channel. We use that to talk to fans about one-shots we're working on, questions to ask upcoming interviewees, things like that. You also get a vote on occasional patron community polls. Those are a little random, but those are open to all of our patrons. Then we have the $10 Elder tier. This is going to be replacing the $8 tier we had, but if you're already at the $8 tier, you're going to be grandfathered into that $8 price, so you don't have to worry about us bumping the price up on you. And we're going to leave that $8 tier up for just a little bit for anyone who wants to get in before the price increase. But this tier will get the same Discord patron role of Elder, access to the channel, the community polls. You'll also get to do episode polls that we do every month and help us decide what we're going to be talking about on the show. We'll also give you access to our monthly horror movie streams we're hoping to get going soon. So then we have our all new tier, the Harpy tier. These folks are going to get access to all the stuff the previous tiers do, but after 1 month, you'll get a pencil character illustration done by Sarah. And if you stay at this tier for a full year, Sarah's going to do a full color illustration one-on-one with you of any character of your choice. Then we're adding the $100 blood tier. We also will have our first Patreon goal coming up this year of $500. $500 because with all the editing and time that goes into it, we think that would put us in a place where we could do weekly episodes. So we'd get 3 main episodes a month, plus our 1 monthly bonus interview episode. So we'll have all that set up at Patreon. We'd love it if you could go check it out. And please enjoy our interview today with one of the artists from Vampire V5. Thanks. Have a great day.
Hi, I'm Hunter. I'm joined as always by...
Oh, hi, it is Sarah this time. Hello.
And this is Blank Bodies, a Vampire the Masquerade V5 podcast, tabletop gaming and horror. Today we have a special guest with us.
Yes. Very exciting. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I don't know if I'm that special, but my name is Krzysztof Bieniawski. I go by Rabbit Black Dog on social media, and I paint some art for Vampire the Masquerade.
Yes. So yeah, if you've been getting any of the newer books and you've been seeing like the really sick character art, this is the bro. We found him. We found them. And we somehow convinced them to talk to us. So hi.
Hi.
I'm glad you're able to sit down with us. So
really a real pleasure for me to be invited to your podcast, and I believe we will have some great fun.
Yeah,
unless I bore you to death, because when I start talking, I will never stop.
Well, we got an hour to cover, so that might be a feature and not a bug. What was it that got you interested in Vampire the Masquerade initially?
I started playing Vampire the Masquerade and role-playing games when I was in high school. So I started, like most of the guys, probably around 16. We played the standard set of games that was like available for Polish our Polish nerds. So first it was Warhammer, and then Cyberpunk 2020, and the third one I was exposed to was Vampire the Masquerade, and that one resonated with me the most. So it it stayed for 23 years now.
Yes.
So throughout these years, I'm still playing with one of the guys who got me to role-playing games. Still, the same guy is a part of my playing group. So I believe it went well.
Yeah.
No, that's rad. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. Speaking of 23 years, Sarah showed me earlier you did some of the artwork for the 30th anniversary announcement they did. So you've been there for most of it, at least.
We started playing second edition because it was the first edition of Vampire the Masquerade published in Poland in Polish.
Okay.
And then there wasn't that much of Vampire the Masquerade material published in Polish, because that was like 3 books for second edition, and or maybe 5, something like that, and maybe 2 or 3 for third edition, and that was it. So from that point, I just switched to PDFs and original material. Gotta say that probably had took part in developing my English because I just had no choice. So yeah, by now I probably have 90% of the books ever published for Vampire the Masquerade in paper on my shelves. So yeah.
Oh no, that's rad. Question that we get asked to ask people a lot is like, do you have a favorite clan or preferred clan? Like what's your most comfortable one?
For that 23 or something years, I mostly was a storyteller. So
Oh, wow.
if you're a storyteller, it's hard to say what clan is favorite, because you have to like all of them the same, except for Ravnos. No one ever needed them for anything. Unpopular opinion time.
No, you're fine. I've been open with the most of my years of storytelling. I did not allow Ravnos at my table, so like I get it.
I guess they were kind of rescued, and fifth edition made sense for them. That's my opinion, but as a player, I enjoyed playing Malkavians a lot. That was actually my first character, and I still have it. And the second one could be probably La Sombra, because that was a character I played the most, I believe. My brother, who was in our group, was a second storyteller. We switched. And he ran a Dark Ages game that was like through the centuries. We started in early medieval times and ended up in Renaissance. So yeah, that was the longest played character. But to be honest, I like the initial 7 Camarilla clans the most, I believe, because to me, I'm kind of mentally stuck on the second edition throughout the years, and I'm glad that the 5th edition took a kind of made a full circle and got back to the game that is focused more on the moral aspect of the game, the struggle with the beast and with the beast for humanity, and politically on the street level, not the overall crossover plot, but like the local things and small beginnings. And that was what I liked the most in my games, and that was what I like and still like the most playing. So but the 7 initial Camarilla clans were those that I believe were conceptually clans that are the most recognizable as how should I say it? Are built on the tropes that are easily recognizable by anyone who heard the word vampire.
Yeah.
So if you take into account all the most popular literature, folklore, myths, and all that stuff, from the 7 Camarilla clans, every single one of them corresponds to a trope or something like that. Like Bruja, you have lost boys. Ventru, that's kind of simple. Like Nosferatu, that's even simpler. Malkavians, you have Renfield from Dracula, and all that stuff is easily recognizable for me. And there are from other clans. There are some that have that aspect to them, like Zimisti, Zimiske, or however you pronounce it. That Dracula vibe, or I don't know if you ever watched the Hunger movie with David Bowie.
Yeah.
You get followers of Set.
Mhm.
You just get them, and there are these things, but some of the clans and later added bloodlines, I believe, because I don't know it, were built upon different concepts for disciplines, concepts for I don't know, political functions, but not the literary or pop culture or folklore or this kind of material that is established enough for anybody to be recognizable, like intuitively. So that's my response.
No.
Lengthy enough.
No, it's great. I think a lot of similar things, and that was one of the big draws for me on V5 too, is the fact that everything was going to be more street level, and the mechanical change towards the hunger dice and focusing on that.
That was great.
Like,
that was great. It just ceased to be just mana points and began to be forced as something you mechanically that you can never ever forget about.
Right. Oh, it's so good. I just, the amount of players that are like, I want to do this thing. They're like, oh wait, I'm at Hunger 4. Maybe should not. It's been yeah.
Yeah, you said that the 7 core are very recognizable, and that's something I definitely agree with too. I've tried to play games in the past in older editions with just the amount of float and bloodlines and clans there were, and it was hard enough to get like a new player accustomed to the rules without giving them that many options too. I love options, but having like the 7 core in one book, you can hand a player book and say that's all you need, really helps for new people especially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I believe that's that aspect of what I've said, that these are archetypes that are easily recognizable for anyone who watched 2 horror movies about vampires in their life. Not that I don't enjoy other bloodlines or clans. I liked Assemites for Banu Hakim now for quite a long time, and I know they were built around the concept of the Brotherhood of Assassins. You know, the Nizaris, Ismailites, or however you wanna call the historical source. But it's all great job done. But these are my favorites because they fit the concept of playing a horror game where you are the monster the most and the easiest.
Yeah, no, I one of the things I really liked, the Facebook groups where I saw where you were sharing your finished work and also all the concept work, was the amount of like thought you shared with all of that, and how much like it seemed like you do a lot of research when you're getting into doing the art for like character concepts. So is like researching and doing pre-work before you get to doing actual artwork a big part of your process?
This is something that is characteristic of everything I do around the role-playing games, because I have this habit and need, should I say, to make everything I create believable and as close to being true as possible. So I just wouldn't be happy throwing out anything that could be easily regarded as, okay, that's some high fantasy bullshit. Not that I don't like high fantasy, but the part of Vampire the Masquerade in particular, that is its strongest trait, is that the game is so close to reality, and that's the most horrific part of it. And it kind of reflects in anything I do. That's the funny thing is, if not for Vampire the Masquerade, I wouldn't be an artist today.
Oh yeah.
So these things kind of shaped me in the same amount, because I was growing up playing the game, and that was shaping my creativity and how I approached creating anything. And creating a chronicle is a creative endeavor. And I have the same approach for my art. As you probably seen my style, I try to be, despite the strange color palette I use, but I try to be realistic, and I don't like painting superheroes or supermodels only because these people exist, but other people exist as well. So to be the most to be as close to being believable as possible, they have to look the way you can believe as probable, and the elements that create them have to be grounded in our reality for them for the outcome to be something that resonates and you can believe in. So and I just like doing things good in a in a way that I'm happy with, and I'm happy with in a way that, okay, I've done it well, I've done homework, and someone that is, for example, Jewish would not laugh at me because I put some few signs in Hebrew and they are just random stuff. Or I don't know, some few Chinese signs that means spicy chicken,
Yeah,
so,
no, that's
so
I
just try. I don't know. You see, I'm not educated in anything, and I don't know anything. But I'm trying. I'm trying. So, and that keeps me happy, and that also makes me grow because I have to read something new about something new every time. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was when I was going through the Spot the Black handbook, that was one of my favorite things going through the book, was all the figure drawings you did. Like, they have like a weight to them. And I love that the anatomy felt really like tangible and like had a texture. And I like that. I really love the way that you use like what outside people not involved in art would call like not skin tones.
Yeah.
Into skin tones, and it just adds so much more of like a life to them, where I'm just like, oh yeah, no, these are real people and they are scary.
About the skin tones, that's a discussion I have with my artist buddy from I don't know how long, because in art, my favorite, I like Baroque painting and symbolism and etc. And I'm not that much of a fan of Impressionism. But if you think of it, I paint Impressionism in terms of how I use color. But so that buddy of mine is always when anywhere in the internet the discussion about skin tones arises, is like, what colors do you use for skin tones? And Krzysztof says, what colors you don't use for skin tones.
Why not use all of them? No, it's great. And it was also nice. I like that you had also like had a variety of people in the book. Because I'm also an art person, and when I was going through art school, I had many fights with my professors because I would mix like blue and purple tones into darker skin tones for class projects, and then they would be like, no, that's not what the project is, and I'm like, but that's I used one of my friends for a model, and that's how it worked. Like so it's just so nice, like seeing that somebody is able to put as much thought and as much just like color and have a really strong sense of anatomy into something that is supernatural inherently. So I was just like, yeah. So when I saw you posting, I was just like, oh, yes. I love all your work. It's so good.
Thanks a lot. But what you told about anatomy, it's like we're going back to what I said about things being believable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of painting monsters in a overly monstrous way,
Mm-hmm.
because to me it always boils back to the basic concept of the game, which is beast versus humanity, and showing a beast in a very humanly shape, even if it has bestial traits like fangs or glowing eyes or claws. The human shape of it is the most terrifying trait,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I like about this game, and probably it reflects in how I approach painting characters for this game.
Yeah. Oh no, it's great. Yeah, because I've seen you also sharing some of the preview or stuff you're working on for an additional Sabat book. Is that my understanding correct?
No, the pieces I share on social media right now
Mhm.
are all the pieces I've done for the Sabat book, but you may just not remember all of them, because there were
Yeah.
almost 20 illustrations I've done for this book.
Yeah.
So it's easy to let some slip in
Oh yeah, no,
memory.
it's okay. I have also been working and moving and holidays, so yeah.
Also,
My bad.
there's almost 60 art pieces in this book, so all of them great. So also the book is good enough, so I don't hold it against myself that someone just is not focusing on the art alone, because that's not the point. The point is the art just like serves the stuff that was written for in the
Oh
book.
yeah, no, it's been, yeah, no. I appreciate you sharing the post that you have, because getting your insight on what you thought about doing for character design is really, really great. And I think it's also a good jumping off point for other storytellers to be like, oh, okay, so there's this information and I can yes and that into games I'm doing.
That's
So
the ultimate goal why I'm doing it, because not only sharing but painting in these pieces the way I try to paint them, because I'm a consumer of role-playing games and books as well. So I know I choose games that are that have strong visuals, even if the game is good, but if it doesn't look good, I feel less inspired.
oh yeah, for sure.
And if I open the book and I see artwork that resonate, that give me ideas, because I'm reading something and I'm seeing a picture that shows it in a way that that provokes some thought. My mind just wanders, and I have two chronicles in my head already, and that was something that is something I always try to catch in that in the pieces I paint, and that is the goal. And the other thing is, there is no image for me, the way I work, without the story behind it. So when characters are maybe a bit more difficult, because you have only the characters, the way the character is dressed, looks at you, the gesture, the prop, the lighting, the pose, to tell the story. If you have a scene or something like that, an action scene or something like that, it's much more easier to tell a story. But there always has to be one, always has to be a story in the way I see it, to make the artwork resonate and to provoke the viewer to get something more out of it than just only, okay, this is a vampire, or this is a feeding, this is a war.
And
Yeah.
on that note, I believe you did one of my favorite pieces from the Sabbat book, or at least one of the most striking to me. The one of the ghoul who's like orange and engulfed, and you can see just in his like sunglasses lens the man on fire.
Yeah, the paladin.
Yeah, it's so good. I like, cause yeah, we were looking at that initially all together, and then one of us was like, wait, is there, oh my God. Like right on the lens, just like, that's such a good little touch. Like,
thank you. And that's something I can never figure out, because the pieces I worked the most on, and that was the most challenging for me, and that was the hardest of work for me, aren't necessarily the ones that the audience find like the best, or I shouldn't use that, like the most. Okay, so this particular piece I did very quickly. Like it just came, I just did it, bang, done. It wasn't like let me think about one I have some struggle with, like the Crusade. That's the picture when you with the female floating above the crossroads, and there is a conflict beneath. I'm happy with that one, and it took a long time for me to finish, and I thought, oh wow, that is epic. People will like it, and then like, I don't know if it's a good indicator of whether the piece is good or not, but then I see on my social media that the Paladin or the Bloodhounds, like they just explode, like getting twice as much likes, like as pieces I thought where I worked hard for them to be finished and to look the way I am happy with, just even partially, because I'm never 100% happy with what I do.
Oh yeah, no, the one with the woman that was up that you described, I really appreciated that one, but I also understand the struggle of just trying to get perspective. Perspective is just a nightmare sometimes, and you're just like,
and that's not my strongest suits. And it is action packed, many characters, to get the composition right, to get the storytelling right, as I've said. So you have to build the pictures in the way that you kind of steering the attention of the viewer to make the audience look at things and elements of the picture in the correct how should I say it, what they should look at first, second, third, and so on. So it's kind of hard, and then you just paint a guy with the reflection in his in his shades of someone burning, and people tell wow.
well,
and that's great, It just tells me that extra effort wasn't necessary.
No, that's not true. No.
I'm just kidding. I
was gonna say, it's not often we see somebody on goddamn fire. So. I was just kind of like, whoa.
That's something you mentioned earlier. I want to touch on too. I think it's really common. We met in art school, me and Sarah, and I've played in bands, and even just running tabletop games and stuff. You're always creating to some sort. And I think it's really common for to feel like never really happy with the final result, or you feel like I can always put more in this. Just knowing when like a piece should be done, even if you're like, oh, but I could go back and add this or touch that up. It does get to a point where you kind of have to just let your piece loose, even if you don't think it's ready yet. You have to know when to be like, okay, I've worked on this too long.
Yeah, there is something like overdoing a piece, and working further on that one, just it isn't doing it any good anymore. But when I envision something that I would like to paint, the outcome rarely, very, very rarely isn't just what I was about to paint. So that was something I meant by saying I am never really happy 100% with what I do. And I believe that's necessary. That's a condition for me to make any progress, because any day I will feel 100% happy with what I do. Every time I do something will be the day I just cease to develop and grow, So stay hungry. I
Yeah.
just try to stay hungry. Yeah.
No, that's good advice. Yeah, we were kind of curious though. It's like, I do freelance stuff. Hunter doesn't as much anymore, but I know you still do a bit. It's like, how did you get involved in doing stuff with World of Darkness, like officially?
That was a kind of funny story, because finally managing to get this contract was something I felt obviously happy, because it's a dream job for a nerd like me. But it also was something I was happy about, because I was feeling like I'm a grand mastermind. Because back then I was doing freelance for easily over 15 years. Meanwhile, had some agency jobs, because I have a strong design background as well. So I was doing design, but always wanted to focus solely on illustration. Got a job in an agency as an art director in employer branding, so totally something different. And then I thought, okay, there is a hype on cyberpunk game, so I will paint some because it was 2018 or 19. The cyberpunk 2077 was about to come out. So I will paint some cyberpunk characters. Maybe on the hype, I will get some jobs, etc. That worked not so well, but then the vampire hype was there because of the ever delayed Bloodlines 2 game, and then 5th edition of Vampire the Masquerade, which got a very, very good reception. And I thought, okay, so let's try something like that, but with vampire characters. And I created my character, White Mary, and I started to paint some pictures of her, writing some story snippets. So there was one picture of her, second, third, and someone reached out, and I was sharing it in all the Facebook vampire groups, etc. And someone reached out to me. Oh, listen, would you paint as a commission my character for Vampire the Masquerade? I said, sure. Yeah. So one character painted for a fan, second, third, and then just after painting a few of them, I believe there were like 6, 7 or something like that. White Wolf / Paradox art director reached out to me and asked me, would you like to paint some stuff for Vampire the Masquerade? Let me think. Yes.
Yeah.
So it took off from then, and they gave me quite some work. I had a job at the agency back then, so I kind of kept 2 jobs up to the point when I had to decide, make a decision which way should I go, and there was just one way, actually.
Yeah. It's like, no, that's great. I'm glad that you're able to get picked up, because I looked through some of your older postings and I saw the cyberpunk stuff, and I was sharing it with one of the other hosts who may or may not be a robot, and
Okay.
he was just like, I need to use these for upgrades. And so Yeah, no, it's all great. I'm glad you got to live the nerd dream.
Yeah. That does lead into another question we were wanting to ask. Have you worked on any other tabletop games other than BTM?
Before, when it comes to illustration work, I've done stuff mostly for covers of novels, fantasy and science fiction. But earlier, I did a few pieces for an indie game. It was published in a zine format through Kickstarter. I believe it was called Orbital Intelligence.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I don't remember the name. Sorry, Christopher, because that was the author. But I believe it was Orbital Intelligence. I painted a few very strange pieces for a guy, crazy nice guy, very very self-published. He self-published his dreams, which was something about very very trippy science fiction stuff.
Ooh. Well, that's okay. Well, if there was any remembering, we'll fix it in post. It's fine.
Oh, no, I looked it up. It looks like the group is called Orbital Intelligence.
Sweet. We'll probably share that with our Discord, because a lot of people in our community like independent games, and we've been trying to organize games amongst each other. So
yeah, I got it. It was called Terror of the Stratosphere.
Okay.
And the Orbital Intelligence was, I believe, community. That was, I don't know. I may mix it up, so I stop at this. But Terror of the Stratosphere was the name of the zine in question.
Okay.
All right on. Oh, that sounds rad. I'm excited to check that out. Oh, we did. Speaking of the Discord, I did ping a few people in our server to be like, hey, did you have any questions? And the big question was asked was, do you have any thoughts on doing specific colors with specific clans, or do you care more about like the tone of the characters specifically?
No, I never thought about it this way, to attach some color to color code the clans, so to speak. But to be honest, I on purpose tried to do quite the opposite. So there are some how to say, cliches that go with certain archetypes, stereotypes of clans, etc. So the best example would be the Muay Thai Nosferatu I did for Companion. And I believe I wrote it in the description when I shared it. But if I can briefly repeat it, it was something like, I was thinking that Nosferatu are just okay. Okay, Krzysztof, you have to paint a Nosferatu enforcer. So okay, big, bulky, black clothes, ugly face, of course, and the scary, dark character. No, we're doing quite the opposite. So I made him. The character was male, a small guy, skinny, muscular, but skinny, and as bright and as much white as possible. So I can like get the same result of painting a character that you look at and think about them. Okay, that guy would make a rinse meat out of me. But actually I used very bright colors, very vivid colors, like pinks, purples, blues, and stuff like that. The other one was Sabbath. Both characters for Sabbath, Path of Death and Soul.
Yes.
Because when you think of it, the default you're thinking about is the goth girl. Or something like that, the dark, murky, spooky character. So I painted one white, as white as possible, and the second one the big vivid blob of yellow.
Yeah.
So I just on purpose tried to not paint the first thing that comes to mind, and make it a bit more interesting if possible. So maybe break people stereotypical thinking about the subject. Maybe I succeeded, maybe not, but that is always my goal, to try to inspire different approach of thinking, or maybe if not different, spark some creativity and inspire some thought about what they are seeing and reading.
No, that was great. The character of Path of Death, I liked that you coded their outfit white, because there are a lot of cultures where the death color is white,
yes,
as opposed to black. So I was just like, oh, yes, thank God somebody's doing that. Thank God.
Yeah, the character had some elements of Cult of Santa Muerte, where the white is the color that is attached to it. I believe in Japanese culture, the white is the color of death, and I've kind of tried to do my homework on this as well. But I find this just interesting, because painting a big black dark figure, okay, it will be spooky and scary, but painting something as bright and as vivid as possible, like the guy with the yellow apron, and look at him and thinking, oh my God, this guy is nope.
Oh yeah, no, that guy hit me in a spot, because we live in the American Midwest, and I don't know if you pay attention to any true crime or anything, but there's a lot of like serial murderers in our part of the United States.
Because there are some vast distances from big settlements, so they can just vanish easily.
Oh yeah. So yeah, just seeing that character where you just look at him and go, oh no. We just kind of hit close to home, where it was like, oh no, I know that kind of guy that like looks kind of small and demure and isn't really a problem, but then like you see the shark eyes and you go, oh no, that guy super a problem, we gotta go.
So if it worked, I'm really happy. I'm just giving myself a task every time, and try to push myself further to make it more interesting.
Yeah. Oh no.
Not that great. I don't think that stereotypes are bad. I like them in games, because they make as I was telling about the 7 initial Camarilla clans, it just make things. It's a shortcut to recognize something what it is, and going from then give your creative aspects to it and create something unique.
Yeah. No, that's great. I was curious on the creative front. Is there anything with the 5th edition stuff that you're particularly like excited about?
It's a hard question.
Sorry.
Because no, hard in an interesting way, because I really like 5th edition for making it, as I've said earlier, a full circle and going back to the roots, going back to the basics in a way. Also making things more modern and updated for today. Some smart lore changes that make things easier for a storyteller, because Camarilla ban on using electronics and internet, to be honest, makes it a lot easier for the storyteller, because if you're trying to run a, I don't know, detective story, and your characters each have a smartphone with internet and all the answers, that's why I like to place my games in the 90s.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like actually, Hunter runs a Hunter game for us set in 1994.
Yeah, my favorite era 80s, 90s. 90s are the best for me because because of the age, I kind of remember it, so I don't have to look that much things up to make it era appropriate. but 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 yeah, there are of course some things I am not that fond of in fifth edition because many things were simplified, which is for the best if you try to draw new people to the hobby, to the game. Because I can't see how you can draw new people with 100 books for the third edition or 700 pages of anniversary edition. And all the bloodlines, disciplines, and all that stuff. So it is good, but the way some things were simplified, I am not that much of a fan of. But as I've said, there with that much of a material, it's impossible to please anyone. So
yeah.
So I like the new Sabbat a lot. And not just because I painted so many pieces for it. I'm not that narcissistic, but I like that it became what it was before and initially, the boogeyman, the evil vampire, the something that is even worse than the thing you normally are scared of, and not just Camarilla 2.0. Because that's what the Sabbat in earlier editions with every next book published became, just like second Camarilla but for edgy kids.
Yeah.
Sorry
you
if
like
I'm
wearing a trench coat and katanas. Oh boy.
Sorry if I'm blunt about that, but
oh no.
The greatest thing about this game is that you can pick and choose and make your game what you want it to be. It's not like Dungeons and Dragons where the rules are set. And I have nothing against Dungeons and Dragons. If people enjoy it, more power to them. But this game just lets me tailor the world, the setting to what I'm trying to run, with who I'm playing, and pick and choose some disciplines throughout the years. Some bloodlines and other stuff that were in metaplot, in lore, were never in my games because I just didn't like them.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. I think I do like that the Sabbat are closer to what they were initially. And I think, like you said, if they're trying to bring in new people and have it be more accessible, a game needs a clear enemy, even if, Vampire is ultimately about personal horror and trying to survive in this world and stuff. Having like a clear set, okay, these are the bad guys, even worse than whatever you made. This exists, and you have a clear thing to fight. If you're running a more straightforward game like that, I think it makes it a lot easier for new players to kind of latch on to.
I don't know if I necessarily agree in full with you, because that's the reason because I don't that's the reason I didn't like some things in earlier editions, like first the way followers of Set were presented for the first time, and then the whole infernalism. I didn't like it a lot, because Vampire the Masquerade to me was always a game about shades of gray. Like, no one is good, no one is evil. You are good and you are evil at the same time. And everyone is evil. Everyone tries to be good. Everyone tries to find themselves in the monster they become. And to throw something black and white into that wasn't something I liked that much. Like infernalism, that just made the whole idea, the whole concept on internal conflict of good and evil inside me obsolete, because that's the real evil. So you are good. And and I don't believe I would think, me personally, I'm not trying to say your point is invalid, but I don't know if I personally think about the Sabbat in 5th edition in that way. It's not just a straightforward evil enemy as a boogeyman, as something to be afraid of. not something to have the obligatory conflict with, but something that you don't want to become, but you can see it, and that's hell of a scary thing to look at.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. I was just saying for like a new player who's still kind of learning the ropes and stuff, I think that's an easy in for them. It's like, oh, you're new on the scene, you're in town, and no, these guys are attacking and they're clearly worse than everything you've dealt with before. It gives them a clear objective in the world. Not so that I would run an entire game like that.
So I kind of misunderstood you, but yeah, in a more straightforward game, like you're running a game on the convention or with new players or something like that, that's the enemy, and that's the enemy that have the traits you can see in yourself, and that's that you're fighting something you don't want to become. But nonetheless, it could be a action-packed game full of fight scenes, pursuits, and all that stuff. Yeah, sure.
And I like that there's kind of a mild narrative parallel between the Sabbat and some of the extremist kind of things you see in our world, where it's like, oh, some of these people really genuinely believe X, Y, and Z, and they're willing to go so far for these beliefs, and it's just kind of like the terror of running into somebody who has a different viewpoint than you, and you're just trying to figure out how you deal with that. I find to be absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, and that's great. That's a great point you're making, because the Sabbat being the quasi-religious group, being a fanatical cult more than just bad guys, makes it the more complex, because it's not like they're evil because they think they're evil. They are what they are because they're trying to save the world. And they're totally believe in what they do. So if we have to kill 20 people, yes, that's the sacrifice that has to be made.
Yeah. And I find that to be an interesting thing, and getting into some of the lore and seeing how things that are mentioned in parts of the Sabbat book tie into things that I've read earlier, like in Beckett's Jihad Diary and stuff. And you're just kind of going, oh no. It's great. I love it. But, just as a storyteller, you just look at all these little threads and you're just like, oh no, this is great. Why'd you give me a loaded plot gun? So good, but
But there is one other question that I had that I forgot to ask. I saw that you did some of the preview art for the upcoming Hunter the Reckoning game.
Yes.
Yes. I obviously no spoilers, but I'm really excited about that. I know Sarah mentioned earlier that I actually run a Hunter game for our group. So what's it been like getting to work for like a new whole game line outside of Vampire?
I gotta say that, of course, I'm not sharing any details, but I'm really, really, really excited about the Hunter book, because I may have anything to say only about the aspects I am contributing to. So obviously it's just art, but the style that emerged throughout the early stages of work is really something I am happy with, and I believe visually this game will rock. Will be something to really look up to, because it will be very, very pretty.
Yes, I'm so excited. So excited.
As far as the how the game is created and all that stuff, I believe the only thing I have to say, if no, I actually I won't say anything.
Yeah, no, we don't want you getting in trouble. It's all good.
I don't want to get in any trouble, but I never was a big fan of the Hunter game earlier edition. It kind of, not that I tried it and didn't like it. It kind of just passed through me, and I never gave it that much of a look until much later. But this one will be very interesting, and I'm kind of intrigued how the community will receive it, because I'm really happy with what is brewing.
Good. Yes, I've been loving all the snippets and bits we've gotten about the Second Inquisition. So getting a Hunter book that might build on that more, I'm just like, give me. I need it. I want it.
It
I'm
will
excited.
it will be a completely different approach.
Oh, that's
Okay.
fair.
I'm-
Either way,
as was
I'm hyped.
as was written in the preview on the worldofdarkness.com.
Mhm.
But yeah, the game will be something really, really interesting.
Yes.
I've always loved Hunter. It's always been low-key my favorite. But we ran the Chronicles of Darkness version, not the World of Darkness version.
Hunter the Vigil, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I really like that it kind of keeps a lot of that. You can keep that political and social, like horror and intrigue from vampire in the game, but it mixes. I would run it more like Call of Cthulhu, where they're investigators, they're fighting things much more powerful than them, and you're still trying to maintain your humanity. Like, how do you get to the point where you don't just start killing indiscriminately because any guy out after dark could be a vampire?
Yeah, like their tendrils and tentacles are everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
like kind of like in old Warhammer, where the chaos was everywhere. Everyone was tainted, something like that. Cosmic horror. But yeah, the Hunter game was that kind of the default horror game.
Yeah.
And maybe the fact that I never really got much invested in it was the fact that I run my games in a kind of a specific way, because many times players, to think of it, my players never really started their games as vampires. So I started the games as a pure horror game, where, and like, they didn't fill out the sheets until I believe session 5, 6, and until session 3 or 4 there wasn't even any supernatural element. So that's the way I started my long-running Chronicles. Probably the most usual way. It was something like that. And then some of them died as humans. So some of them became the antagonist of the supernatural element, and some of them were embraced and became vampires. And I believe we played like 6 months worth of Chronicle in my Kindred of the Ebony Kingdoms Chronicle, set in Kingdom of Mali and in 1600s, and then into the more modern nights. I believe we played like 6 months playing weekly, where one of the players played Libon vampire character and the other still played human.
Oh, that's rad as fuck.
And eventually was also embraced, and then they all transferred to the modern nights as anachronistic tribal African vampires in modern day in Senegal. So about doing research. For a year I've read nothing else but things on Africa, northwestern Africa, their beliefs, their geography, history. So yeah, that's something like that.
No, that's rad as fuck. No,
so maybe that's why I never got into the Hunter, because I did something similar with vampire games.
Okay.
That's all valid. No, that all sounds great, and I love that. That's how you run games. And part of me is just like, the nerd part of me is just like, I want to take part, but I'm like, no, he's busy. I can't bug him like that. That's rude. But no, that's rad. I love all of that stuff. Oh gosh. But yeah, was that it? Was that actually it? Did we
I think
all start?
I think that's good. Yeah.
Oh, right on. Well, again, thank you so much for doing this, dude. It's so good.
Thanks a lot. Real pleasure. Real
Yeah.
pleasure to talk to you. And I really like that the nerd community consists of people who are so diverse, so different from each other. Because when I started, hopped into the hobby, the stereotype was strong.
Mhm.
Only the guys who spend their times at home,
Yeah.
living the fantasy.
Yeah.
And right now everyone plays, and then this into that kind of stuff, and that's great. That's something I really like, from uh, guys 60 years old to teenage girls, everyone. And that's great. That's great. Especially I think it is true with World of Darkness games,
Mhm.
because they always had that set of qualities that could speak to many groups of people, because you have that tragedy, that romantic tragedy that speak to more sensitive people, and you always can play Gangrel and Bruja and break stuff.
Revolution. Throw.
Yeah, I do think vampire is something special in that regard. We talked about it on like previous episodes, but like part of what got me into vampire was I'd go to like used bookshops and that kind of thing, and I'd be buying CDs, and then I found these books. They were always put the role playing books right next to the comic books, which I've been into since I was a kid. And all of a sudden, I started seeing these vampire books, and I was like, "Whoa, what are these books that look like ministry albums?" So I ended up buying those, and then at first I don't even know if I knew it was a game at first, but eventually I was like, oh, I want to play this.
Oh, that's the one thing I never I haven't told you, but if it wasn't for Vampire the Masquerade, I would probably not paint things for Vampire the Masquerade. So I would probably never be an artist if not for Vampire the Masquerade, because when I finished high school, I was choosing the college I would like to go. I was thinking something about psychology and all that stuff, and like lost 1 year learning something I wasn't that interesting in. And after that year, I thought, okay, I'm not thinking about something reasonable. I'm just going to study something I like.
Mhm.
And I always drew, painted, or something like that, and went to my entry exam to the college with a handful of watercolor paintings I've made. And these were, to be honest, a blatant copies of Ken Meyer Jr. Pieces
no.
he painted for Vampire the Masquerade books and Vampire the Eternal Struggle cards. So yeah, Vampire got me to art studies. I finished them. I became an artist, and without it, I would probably, yeah. So yeah, playing Vampire made me is actually a big part of what I became in life, I believe. Yeah,
No, that's rad.
It is fair to say it like that.
Mhm. Yeah, I was gonna say, without Vampire the Masquerade, me, Hunter, Skipper, and James the podcast probably would not have all met each other.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and the lifelong friendships, because the
Mhm.
guy I'm still playing with, it's like my only buddy from the high school period, and we're still playing. Actually, we have a session tomorrow. So
That's great.
Yeah, so it's a lifelong friendship, you know.
Yeah, no, that's so great. I'm glad you guys are still friends and are still gaming and stuff. Yeah, you survived talking to
Yes.
the Blank Bodies. Thank you. Oh my gosh, yeah. So if people were to try and look you up online, what is the handle? Is it the Rabid Black Dog?
Rabbit Black Dog, without the spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whenever you write that down, I should be the one that pops out and says hi.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Yes. Ah, right on. Well, thank you so much for doing this with us, my dude.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah.
absolutely.